This is my JetBlaster Pro concept from 2025, and this is Yamaha's actual production model for 2026 for the JetBlaster Pro, which basically looks one for one. You're welcome, Yamaha, but it's the ultimate indication that Yamaha are going to listen to us. Guys, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, and let's get into the video. So it's that time of year again where Sea-Doo and Yamaha announce their 2026 models, the models for the next year, and excitingly, JetBlaster again have knocked out the park with some really nice colours. Now Sea-Doo's new colour for 2026 for the Spark is actually really nice and I like that. If you haven't watched this video already, go check it out where I talk about what happened with the 2026. Now ultimately, in my opinion, it's a bit of a flop because we don't have the performance we want still, but it's an indication they're doing something nice with the colours. That said, Sea-Doo really only have that one new colour on the tricks, which let's face it, that's the model we all want to ride. Whereas Yamaha have the Pro, the Deluxe, I've got them in front of me, the Limited, and they've got the Base. Now on the Pro, the Limited, and the Deluxe, we've got brand new colours. Now what's more, it's a bit annoying for us in the UK, but I love it anyway. In the US, you're going to get that colorway, which is very reminiscent of what I kind of put together last year, not taking too much credit. I actually still feel like my concept's slightly better. Sorry, Yamaha, because it's more bold, the colors are more vibrant. They're still going quite pastel-y, which is okay. They're nice, but they are a bit pastel-y. And we still don't have the WaveBlaster. It's called JetBlaster. So next year we can improve upon that again. But where I'm going with this is they generally are creating real show-stopping colors. In my opinion, my favorite color, besides the one that I wouldn't be able to get from the US, is the Limited. That orange and blue for me is such a stunning combo. It looks really good. It reminds me of the SP from the mid-90s within Sea-Doo. So if we look at the JetBlaster Pro, that's going to come in two colors. We've got the blue and the yellow, which will be available in the European market. The one we'll get in the UK, which is a bit of a shame because the US one is absolutely stunning. As I said, very B1 reminiscent. We've then got the Limited, which is the blue and orange, which again, I think is really stunning. The white pops in contrast, really nice. The Deluxe is probably my least favorite. Blue on blue, doesn't have the same contrast pop ratio. And then the Base, I believe, is the exact same colorway as last year. So that was obviously the model that didn't sell as much. But four really strong colors in my opinion. But they're being creative with their color palettes. And when I look at the press packs, because I'm a nerd and I download them all and I see that the way that they market the product, Yamaha have really gone to town. One of the biggest, most exciting things that I've noticed about Yamaha is they've really taken it back to the 90s. Watch the promo video. It's got the quintessential introducing the JetBlaster.
Turn your summer up to 11 with the all-new JetBlaster Pro.
It reminds me of when Sea-Doo had the everybody's doing it, Sea-Doo.
Everybody's doing it, Everybody's doing it, Sea-Doo. Everybody's doing it, Sea-Doo.
All of that vibe is going to be conducive to getting the rec-like riders really geared up and enthusiastic to get out there and buy one of these models. Yes, they're still quite expensive, but they're putting the right energy into the marketing.
For the restless ones, the daredevils, the rebels who feel compelled to forge their own path. There's never been a question about where we belong, fueled by a legacy 40 years in the making. From the original WaveRunner 500 to now.
They've got amazing renders. Now I get them right into the weeds here, but if you look at each model, it's very reminiscent of what Sea-Doo were doing in the 90s, where every model would have every angle and detailed shown of the model. And you'd go onto the website like I am now with Yamaha, and you get generally really excited because you could see all of the details. Yamaha must have spent absolutely thousands getting all of these renders done for all of these skis. Whereas on the Sea-Doo side, yes, we've got great imagery out there within the press pack, but not to the same level that Yamaha have. And in my opinion, the JetBlaster at the moment is the exciting of the two. You know, we've got brand new colors again for this year. They're not just letting the JetBlaster float into a new year. They've taken the time to introduce brand new colors. So that's all the positives with me kind of embellishing and talking about all the great stuff to do with the JetBlaster. Obviously, the model's not changed from a performance standpoint. It's still the TR1 engine, 1049cc, 110 horsepower. I've tested that now. I've got a real sense of the pros and cons of it. It's definitely the more capable engine at the moment, but it does require mods. So we're not seeing the performance changes for 26, which I was hoping we might have. I was hoping that they would lead with this really bold color palette, then knock it out of the park with a more tuned variant of the TR1 engine. That's not materialized, so that is a real shame. So in fairness to Sea-Doo, Yamaha really haven't came with any more performance for 26 either. But I think the fact that they're just being more creative and expressive with the color palette, to me at least, that's more respectful of us rec light riders, which at the moment is the main grumble. I've looked at a lot of the social backlash online to do with the new Spark, or lack of marketing to do with the Spark. And the general consensus is it's not too much to ask for multiple color options each year, and it's not fair or reasonable, as Sea-Doo would probably say. Well, there is a second color option on the Spark Trix. It's basically a reused color from 3 years ago. It's been going for 3 years, that color. So I don't think that's fair. I would like to see 2 brand new colors each year. Is it really that hard to change the pellet colors over? I mean, I work with Extreme here in the UK. I absolutely love their products. Bit of a random segue here. They literally injection mold new roller colors for their trailer every year because they understand that colors are subjective, and to be creatively expressive, you need to change them frequently. It's not fair or reasonable to launch a new model and to not have a fresh new appeal and look. And at the moment, Sea-Doo just feel a bit stagnated in terms of the Trix. I know that's harsh, but when you've got Yamaha doing 4 new colors, I think it's fair to say that they win on that front. Now, performance, as I've said, nothing new, unfortunately. However, there are some really good videos surfacing from Riva, and they're kind of doing the mods that I spoke about when I did the video with Yamaha at Yamaha HQ, where I said, with some light mods, you're going to get to that near 60 miles per hour mark. So there is tons of potential in there. We're going to get 50, 53 out of this stock. Now, obviously Sam's here, so he's a Yamaha guy. I'm not going to say this too loud, but with a little bit of light modifications, a remap, we're going to get that to 57. And they've demonstrated you can get to 57. Yes, it's the modding world, and I love OEM, and I want to see this direct from manufacturer, but it kind of just absolutely nails my point, which is, at the moment, the JetBlaster is the more capable. Now, I've been sent lots of direct messages about some of the little niggly bits to do with the JetBlaster, where people saying to me, oh, well, they've had issue with the bond line and the washers cracking some of the paint. I literally covered in my video, guys, it was one of my pros and cons at the end of the video, that at the moment, the JetBlaster is using automotive grade spray paint. Is the Nano XL2 hull. I said that was a positive, which it is, but it also has its negative. At the moment, from my understanding, is they use automotive spray paint on the underside of here. Now, for things like docks, things like beaches, the longevity of it, I'm not 100% sure how it will hold up. In my opinion, long-term, Yamaha might want to consider going full polypropylene. Maybe they're dipping a toe. Now, it is hard because I spoke about the positivity of the rigidity in the hull. So you have to kind of try and find that balance. Maybe they use a combination of the two, but for me, that's a positive and a negative for the underside. It's never going to be gel coat. Sometimes people think that because I've tested the JetBlaster, I'm now a Yamaha JetBlaster advocate. I don't own a JetBlaster. I tested one. I actually own a Sea-Doo Spark, but I do commend that Yamaha are at least trying something new. Do I think they need improvement? Of course. But if you look at the Sea-Doo Spark in 2014 when it first launched, it had issues also. So it's not fair when people say to me, it's not good as the Spark because it has these teething issues. They'll iron those out. I'll keep a really observant eye on have they sort of things out, like the seat. It had some pretty poor stitching on there. I observe those things too, guys. But remember, I'm testing these skis fundamentally about how they ride and handle, and I was pleasantly impressed and surprised with how effective the TR1's power delivery paired with that whole bit more rigidity. You can sort the sponsons related issue out. It's quite an aggressive ski stock. It's not as playful. Obviously, it doesn't wheelie as well. I'm not going to get into the weeds now, guys. Watch that video here where I critiqued the whole ski and tested it. But what I'm trying to say here in a long-winded way is at the moment, the JetBlaster is the more compelling of the two. And what I was really hoping for this year was that Sea-Doo would up their game and kind of give us an interesting battle. And at the moment, we're not seeing that. Sea-Doo's best offering this year is around their screens and this way that you can pair up with your buddies. Although we've had this brand new, really, really nice color for the RXP. In my opinion, I like bold colors. There isn't this energy level being put into the rec light category for Sea-Doo, which is worrying to me. So Yamaha have got a real opportunity here. I've said it in one of my videos I made 2 years ago where I said, could Yamaha dominate and rule? And I think at the moment, the indications are yes. Sea-Doo 2027, you need to up your game. I've said it a lot. So guys, that was my snappy critique of what Yamaha have been up to. Undoubtedly, more information will surface over the next couple of weeks. And if something interesting comes up, I'll make a follow-up video. Every year, people send me so many messages saying, Joe, please make a video on what Sea-Doo and Yamaha have been doing. At the moment, there's nothing beyond the colors to report on the Yamaha side. And on the Sea-Doo side, as I've said, it really is very, very dull apart from one new introduction of a new color, which is nice, but just not enough to whet our appetite. Guys, thanks for watching, and as always, doesn't matter whether I'm talking about new, the philosophy is always the same. Let's keep the classics alive.